He's never fought us. Not us united.
Oh! I can so see that. That's it. Welcome to Comics League Indie Wednesday. I'm Jared, and today I am discussing, well, really more accurately, returning to my discussion of Scott Snyder's Undiscovered Country. Now, what's cool about this particular volume is Scott Snyder basically creates his own multiverse. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, first off, what's a multiverse? All right, so the idea in terms of comics was created by DC, and it's essentially the alternate realities idea. It's like we have like a reality that's like our own, but different in one slight way. It could be like as simple as Bruce Wayne Kal-El lands in Gotham and then becomes Batman. Batman with Superman's powers, but you get what I'm trying to say there. And it could be also like Bruce Wayne gets the Green Lantern ring and becomes Green Lantern. There are a lot of Batman Elseworlds. But so how does this relate to Undiscovered Country? Well, in this book, this is dealing a lot with history. And in fact, as you know, our party is traveling through what's called the spiral. It's like this big walk of tests throughout this like shattered America. Now, our group ends up scattered throughout American history in this sort of like a simulation, kind of like the Matrix. But what they discover is this particular zone just replays scenarios from America's history and changes details to see what would happen. Like what happens if the British actually were able to, if Paul Revere was not able to warn the Minutemen to get their guns because the British were coming, and so on and so forth. What happens if America ruled the world? What happened if America was taken out by an adversary? So that's basically what this book is about. And Valentina and Charlotte are traveling throughout these different parts of American history, which is actually, it's trying to tell them a story. It's trying to tell them a lesson. The lesson is, don't invade America. You will lose. Because what happens is their scenarios are all of the occasions when America was invaded by a foreign power. And at the end of every scenario, to advance, they have to die. When they die, they essentially respawn, in other words. And then what happens is then they discover, hey, listen, so this is what we have to learn here. Then they discover that one of their party is contacting their military forces to invade America. So obviously the lesson was not imparted totally. And this book also deals a lot with American history, which I know is very like controversial nowadays, but the thing about this book, this series that I've enjoyed the most is that it deals a lot with American patriotism, deals with a lot of the idea of America in a way that doesn't feel preachy, and probably because it's really just putting it around like a really awesome plot, a narrative plot that deals with it's essentially rediscovering America, and that's one of the many reasons why I really enjoy this book a lot. Because I'm a fan of American history, I'm a fan of American military history, and the way that they do this, they just nail it every time. Every time I pick up one of these volumes, I'm like, this is freaking dope. So, in terms of well, first off, this book is peak Scott Snyder, and that it has, because what Scott Snyder's known for, and this is all good. This is why I love him. He's one of my favorite writers. He's known for the like, oh my gosh, what the heck is happening type of writer, where like all this stuff is happening at once, and it's like even the issues as I went through this volume, it's like cliffhanger after cliffhanger, crazy cliffhanger after crazy cliffhanger. So you really it really keeps you reading, and the best part is that his cliffhangers are paid off. It's not like where like some writers leave a cliffhanger or when they address a cliffhanger but it's not satisfying. His are always satisfying. It was the same thing with his DC work, always satisfying, at least in my opinion. So that's my review for Volume 4 Disunity. It's super dope. I give it solid, I'd say 9 out of 10 because story and art is awesome. It takes a lot to get that 10 out of 10. There's always room for improvement. But again, I really like this. And it shows actually what's cool. One more thing I'll say before I end this is that it shows both sides of the discussion about American history, because you have one scenario where America dominates and another scenario where America is dominated. So it's really cool seeing both sides of that discussion. So that's where I'll leave it. Hope you guys enjoyed this volume review. This will probably be the conclusion of my Undiscovered Country coverage for a while until the next volume comes out. So in the meantime, drop down below what other indie titles you would like me to cover. Anyway, stay heroic. Bye-bye.